Happy Thursday. Welcome to another episode of To the Moms. I'm your host, Kathy, and Amaris is in the building.
What? What's up, guys?
I hope you guys have had a fantastic week so far. Today, we're just catching up on our lives, what's been going on the last week. Amaris and I have been kind of going through it with the kids. So we wanted to talk a little bit on that. And yeah. How are you doing today? What did you guys do this weekend?
What did we do this weekend? So ever since I had Sorella help me cook, every
All
day,
she wants to do
all
is
she wants to do is cook. So yesterday we baked butternut squash muffins. They came out good. They weren't too sweet. They were a little bit savory, but it was pretty good.
Nice.
So then today, while Thane was napping, she's like, Mommy, I want to cook with you. I want to make steak, rice, onions. And I was like, girl, I cooked it up in the kitchen yesterday. Like, we can't cook. She was like, oh, her new thing is, please.
Oh, she's so cute.
And I'm like,
how can you say no to that?
Yeah, like you can't. So I was like, all right, let's bake. But I don't have butter. So I was just like,
you could have substituted maybe, no?
I did. I substituted with, what did I substitute? Oh, coconut oil.
Oh, perfect. That's a good alternative.
Today I made the
bread.
apple cinnamon bread.
Yum.
And like I didn't measure. I was just like, this looks
You
like
winged it?
up. I like winged it. I was like, okay, these
Look
are
at
the
you,
ingredients
girl.
I need. And I was like, this kind of looks like it's a cup and a half, 3/4.
Yeah.
And it came out pretty good.
Nice. I love that this is like you and Cyrilla's like new thing.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to make like alternative for the ingredients. I'm gonna have to
tweak them here
and there. So I am excited. So I told Abraham, I said she might ask me to bake something tomorrow.
That's so funny.
Too.
Oh my God, Amaris is in her baking era.
I'm in my baking era.
As of like what? Yesterday.
This girl's gonna make me bake everything. But I'm like, you know what? It's cute because I'm like, it teaches her one-step directions.
Yeah.
While also being gentle with like stirring.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Of course, there's the bonding. There's all these core memories that I'm making with her.
Oh, I love that.
You know, so I'm like, all right. So
that kind of reminds me of Grayson with helping me make coffee in the morning.
Oh yeah.
But he's like way too obsessed. Like he just points at it every like cough, like trying to say coffee, and it's just the cutest. I'm like, no, baby, you can't have coffee at like 5 o'clock. Yeah. But it's so cute.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just have him run the machine, like thinking that there's like a pot in there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he's so funny.
He's at his coffee hour.
He is. Yeah, this week has been quite an experience in my whole motherhood journey.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. So just to catch up the listeners, Grayson caught hand, foot, and mouth virus, which is also called Coxsackie or something like that. So he caught it on last Sunday, but he didn't start showing symptoms until Wednesday. Wednesday he was fine, and I told you he took that long nap. He took like a 3-hour nap, which I expected because we had gone to that indoor playground, so he was wiped. But he didn't want to eat right after his nap, which I thought was really weird.
Right.
And he was kind of warm, and I had mentioned it to Blue. He was rubbing his mouth a little bit, so that's why I had mentioned to you, contrary to what every pediatrician says, Grayson does get a low fever every single time that he teeths. So that's what I thought it was. I'm like, okay, maybe he's teething because he was kind of like rubbing his mouth. He wasn't super hot, but he was definitely warm. Like I checked his temperature. I think he was like at 99, around there.
Okay.
So bedtime rolls around and he drinks his nighttime bottle and then he throws up. I wasn't too concerned. I'm like, okay, maybe he drank it too fast because it's happened before. Like it wasn't the first time. And then where things really got scary is that he threw up again and then he was shivering. And he became
Fever.
very, like, almost limp. It was extremely scary.
Yeah.
At that point when I saw him just like he had no energy, and I was like, "Babe, let's go to the hospital right
Yeah.
now. Like, we have to go." And he's like, "Are you like we're?" I'm like, "Yes." It must have been like I think around 10:30 or so.
Mhm.
We get to the hospital, and I didn't mention this to you, but
Mhm.
the hospital that we went to was the same hospital that I lost Liam.
Oh.
It was not on my mind at the time
Yeah.
because I was just we were concerned on Grayson, and
Yeah.
the nearest hospital is that one, which is 5 minutes away, thankfully.
Mhm.
But it wasn't until we got to the parking lot and we're like rushing to the emergency room.
Mhm.
Emergency room? Yeah, that's what it's
Yeah. Yeah.
called. That it hit me. And it's
Yeah.
just crazy how trauma,
How the
works.
body can
It's
respond
just
to trauma.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
oh my gosh, all of these like visions, like just everything
Just
just
everything just comes back and hits
yeah.
you.
And
Yeah.
I had all this anxiety, and I'm like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Like I just hope Grayson's okay." Like I was
Yeah.
just in like a state of shock.
Mhm.
It was a long wait at the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
I think night times are like usually long waits, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah, it
from
is.
your experience?
There's always like a way.
Oh
There's
my
always someone like in
god.
front of you. Cause like if you think about it, everyone waits for like the last minute, which is
Yeah.
nighttime to like go. Or like
Yeah.
things just happen at nighttime that it's like, oh, I have to go.
Yeah, yeah. So there weren't too many kids there. I want to say, like, aside from Grayson, there must have been three other, but they were babies. He
Oh,
was like the
okay.
only toddler. And he's just so weak at this point. I feel so bad. I'm trying to ask him questions just to like keep him like make sure that he's okay and he's like
Yeah, like
responsive.
right.
So I'm like, "Hey baby, like what does the cow say?" He's been obsessed with the
Mhm.
word cold, so I'm like, "Can you say cold?" And he'd be like, "Cold." Cool. So
Oh
cute.
my god.
But when they check his temperature, he's like at 103.
Okay.
They give him Motrin, which that in itself, girl,
Mhm.
fucking giving medicine to these kids is like.
Yeah, it's hard.
But he was at this point. I didn't realize he had the mouth sores.
Mhm.
So I think that's what was causing him to like throw up or like just
Right.
feeling that discomfort like anytime something would go into his mouth. But
Mhm.
anyways, long story short, we're at the hospital like for hours, and
Mhm.
the doctor finally tells us, we checked him for COVID, we checked him for strep, we checked him for RSV, flu. He's negative on all those. And she pulls his shirt up and looks at his back. She's like, did you notice this before? I was like, no, like it looked like he was kind of developing a little bit of a rash.
Yeah.
And she opens his mouth and she's looking inside. She's like, okay, there I couldn't see all the way because he was just fighting it.
Yeah.
But she's like, I saw two sores in his mouth. So he has it looks like he has Coxsackie. I don't like saying Coxsackie
Yeah, I had
virus.
no idea though that was like the actual term. I thought it was just hands, mouth, foot disease.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not Blue, freaking finding the history of it and realizing Coxsackie is a place in New York,
For
and
real? Wait, I
yeah,
have to hear this.
yeah. So Coxsackie, like the first case ever,
Uh-huh.
was in this town or city in the
Okay.
state of New York called Coxsackie. Coxsackie. So that's where the
Wow.
name comes
Yo,
from.
shout out to
I would
Blue.
Blue's always, he's fucking nerd. Uh, but she's like, "Have you traveled recently?" Because apparently, with hand, foot, and mouth, it's developed in like warm climates. So she's like,
Hmm.
"Have you been around anyone that has traveled?" So my initial thoughts were like, "Okay, well, we were at my friend's house on Sunday. Like they recently traveled.
Mhm.
So I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe he caught it there." Like that was my
Right.
initial thought. And she was like, "Yeah, it's just weird because like." Aside from him, like there's only been one case here at the hospital
Oh,
this week.
wow.
So he's the second one. So
Okay.
she was basically like, there's no treatment for it.
Yeah.
Like most viruses, you kind of just
Mhm.
have to let it run its course.
Yeah.
Alternate, Motrin and Tylenol, lots of popsicles. And she was like, he can't eat solids, like really
Yeah.
just, applesauce and purees and all that stuff. So that night was absolutely just terrible. We got no sleep. the next night, the first, second, and third night were just like the absolute worst. Oh my gosh, just nonstop crying, screaming pain, and Grayson only wanted to be held by me. So imagine, like, my arms freaking hurt. Like, it's just, it was so sad. And I cried every night with him. I was just like, how, like, why? Like, the first time that he gets sick, which, by the way, I do want to preface that this is Grayson's first time being sick, and I'm still a new mom, so I don't know what to expect. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe the first time he gets sick, he'll get a cold, like you mentioned, or like, but man, he gets like one of the worst of the worst.
Right.
So, oh man, it was freaking rough. I will say his fever finally broke yesterday.
Okay.
So no fever. I stopped giving him Motrin and Tylenol. It seems that the sores in his mouth are like getting better, because today he's been eating everything in sight.
Oh, okay.
Everything in sight. Makes me so happy. Like, he's just finally himself. As for the rash, it's very mild, I will say.
Okay.
I thought it was spreading throughout his body. So last night, per his pediatrician's recommendations, she suggested that we give him Benadryl. Yeah, wait for it. She said you can do either Zyrtec during the day, or you can do Benadryl. Don't do both the same day, because they interact with one another. But she said something about the Benadryl is a little bit more effective with like the rash, especially if he appears to be itchy, which he kind of was. He was kind of like going like this. So I was like, okay, let me give him. Let me try the Benadryl last night, because he was getting sleepy. I was like, okay, this might be the perfect time. Give it to him. He falls asleep. 10 minutes later after sleep, like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, this boy sprints out of bed and he's got the crazies. I'm like, what the fuck is happening, babe? Like, what I'm confused. And I start crying. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening to my boy? Because I don't know if you've heard this, but I think it's like 10 to 15% of the kids in the population, if they take Benadryl, it does like the opposite effect, like an adverse effect to it. So they get very hyperactive, and Benadryl's supposed to make you drowsy, and no, it did the complete opposite to Grayson.
That's crazy.
So he was bouncing off the walls for hours.
Damn.
Hours. I was like, no. I was like, I thought it was gonna finally be a good night. He was like sleeping, and I was just crying to him. I was like, I drugged my son. Like, how? Girl,
and we was just like, relax, chill. It's okay. He's fine.
Yeah, he was like, at least he's happy. Because he was just spinning around in circles. It was just a fucking shit show. It was a fucking shit show. Yeah, so I'm happy to say that we are finally like almost in the clear. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Today he's been happy. He's been eating.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I do not wish this upon any parent, any child. Holy shit. Like, this is no fucking joke. If anything, I feel like this was a huge wake up moment for me. I feel like I am going to be more cautious moving forward. When I take him out, I'm going to do a better job sanitizing and all the things. If I'm meeting up with someone for a play date, I'm going to make sure, like, hey, have your kids been sick recently, or have you been sick? Because I don't want to ever go through this again. And apparently if adults catch it, it's even worse.
Oh yeah.
In adults.
Of course it is.
So I've been so like OCD about like keeping everything clean. Like, I've been doing just laundry after laundry after laundry. It's just been, I really hope that I think at this point,
I feel like, I think at this point, you guys would have started feeling symptoms.
Yeah. So hopefully, knock on wood, we don't get it. But Blue is flying out to California for work on Tuesday. So that's another thing I was stressing. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way that I'm going to deal with a sick baby while he's gone. I'm doing this alone. Like, no, like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
But after Wednesday, Grayson is no longer considered contagious. So my mom, thankfully, she is going to be staying here Thursday through Saturday.
Okay.
That's a huge help, and
Yeah.
I'm so relieved because I can't even imagine, like, I live in a
Yeah.
city and I have to move my car almost every day, so the thought of having to take Grayson, it's just too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, so things are looking up, we're on the come up.
Good.
January has been a
It's been
freaking
crazy. It's been
yeah, we need
insane.
a do-over for 2024.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I remember when you had texted me that you were at the hospital,
Yeah,
and the reason you told me why, I was like, oh my gosh, like he has the stomach virus, like it's gonna suck. But then like I woke up again in the middle of the night, and then I saw like your
yeah,
text that he has hand smell foot disease. I remember thinking, no, he does not, because I know about that, and that is one virus that I pray to God. I'm like, I pray to God, like the kids have COVID and croup and not hands, mouth, foot disease, because that's
yeah.
crazy. Abe's like, what's that? And I was like,
Yeah, and
what?
here's the thing. I've heard of it before, but I always thought to myself, that is so crazy. Like my son is never. I always thought like there's
Yeah,
no way like we're gonna ever get that. And I would
right.
mention it to Blue, and he was like, "Wow, that's crazy." Like,
Yeah.
and look,
You just
you
never
never
know.
know. We never
Yeah.
know. And now we know how he got it.
Mm-hmm.
It's highly
It
contagious.
is.
It's highly contagious.
Yeah. I remember I saw a TikTok. A mom said that she got hand smell foot disease from a
Yeah,
shopping cart. From that
yeah.
moment, I was like, I'm gonna start cleaning these shopping carts again, because I was doing it during COVID, but now that's like has that been
You're kind
uplifted.
of loose with it
Now
a
I'm like,
little bit.
absolutely not. You got hand smell foot disease from a shopping cart? Excuse me, ma'am. So now I'm just like, let me start wiping, and before I have the kids like touch
Hmm.
anything on the cart, I'm like wiping their
Yeah.
hands too, and I'm like,
Girl, I just ordered a huge pack of the to-go Lysol
yeah.
wipes from Walmart.
Mhm.
Put that shit in my car
Yeah.
and it gets here tomorrow because I'm
Mhm.
not playing games
No. Mm-mm.
again.
No, 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 no. Like I always thought the stomach virus was like crazy because it's vomit after vomit, but learning
Yeah.
about hands, mouth, foot, I'm like,
I am absolutely like
I
traumatized from this
yeah, I'm
experience.
sure.
It it shook me to my core.
Yeah.
It was bad, man.
Yeah.
It was fucking bad.
No, I'm sure. I've been through many sicknesses, and it
Yeah.
never gets easy. But
Mhm.
when my kids got sick, it started
Yeah.
off minor, just like a fever won't break and it's just a cold. But you
Yeah.
went like full on
Yeah.
Valium, and it's like,
Literally, the
damn,
boy went from a nap, he woke up, it was downhill. Like,
right?
what?
It's
It's
like,
just like,
damn,
what?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember I've already told you this, but this past week,
Mhm.
Thane has been like what I thought was like gas pains, or his appendix, maybe his
Yep.
appendix like
Appendix.
bursting, but it wasn't. So when you took Grayson to the hospital, like I was looking up
Mm.
hospitals to take to Thane, because I'm like, at this point, he's just whimpering every 15
Oh,
to 30 minutes nonstop. Like he would sleep, 15 minutes later,
wow.
30 minutes later, whimper. And I'm like, well, what
Hmm.
is going on? Like, I have no idea. So there was a point where he just started like crying and like screaming. I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna take him to the hospital right now? Like, I don't know what's going
Right.
on. We we didn't. That morning he woke up perfectly fine. And I'm like, all right,
How
call
strange.
the nurse. They're like, let's have you get checked out. The doctor checked him out and was like, well, there's nothing inside of his body that's inflamed or anything.
Hmm.
So it's none of that. So the doctor was like, I think it's gas. So I'm like, all right, maybe. I did hear his stomach,
Okay. Yeah.
make noises, sounded similar to me when I had
Yeah.
gas pains. But then it
Right.
happened the next night, and then it happened the night after that, and it happened yesterday. So my I
And you haven't changed anything in his
no,
diet, right?
I
So,
haven't. And I thought of that. I was like, well, what have I given him that's new? Nothing.
nothing.
So then I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's growing pains. Maybe, it's
Yeah.
growing pains. But then Friday night, he had, I think he was having a night terror, because he was looking for me and he was like, Mommy, help me. Mommy, help me. Help me. And I was
Oh
just
my
like,
God, that is so. Oh, I just got the chills.
and when he said that, I was like,
I just got the chills. Oh
he's
my
having a
gosh.
night terror. I was like, these are night terrors. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
my,
yeah,
and I
100%. Yeah.
almost want to cry, because like he is
Yeah.
pretty verbal, right? He can say some things, but not a
Yeah.
lot. So the fact that he's like his eyes are closed and he's like
Oh,
kicking and screaming and saying, "Mommy, help me, mommy, help me." I was just like I like froze and I like
oh my God.
grabbed
Like
him
he's stuck in a
tight.
dream.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like grabbed him tight. And I'm like, "Listen, you're safe. It's okay, you're safe." And then he's repeating, "You're safe. It's okay. What's wrong? You're safe."
oh my
He's like
God. I'm
repeating
tearing
everything.
up.
I'm telling him, mind you,
Oh,
Cirilla wakes up and then she's like,
yeah.
"Mommy, what's going on?" I'm like, "Baby, come here." Like Dane is just like upset right now. So then she's
Yeah.
like next to me and thankfully she passes out like quickly, but he's still in this like night terror and I'm like holding him tight and I'm like, "Baby, it's okay. You're safe." And the moment I like held him, just like I put a little bit more pressure, like kind of like on his arms and like on his legs, he like calmed down and was
Really?
snoring, and I'm
That is so sad. Oh my
like
God.
I was like, he's having a night terror. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like
Yeah.
texting Abraham. I'm like, yo, listen, blah blah blah. Because at this point, Abraham went to the gym. So then
Hmm.
he's like, I wonder if this is like, an autism thing. I'm like, it is. Because I
It
remember it
is.
is. This time 3 years ago, he was
Uh-huh.
having these night terrors.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember I came across like reasons why my child has like a night terror. And one of the things says like, you know, night terrors and autism are like linked. And I remember thinking like I felt it in my core. I was like, that's kind of like one of the articles that I read, and I was like, I think my son is autistic because I was piecing together like everything that was happening prior to like that
Yeah.
night. And at that point he was like 17 or 18 months. So I
Wow.
remember when I read that, I was like, "Oh my god, my son is autistic. My son is having these night
Terror.
terrors." And just like this past week, that 3 years ago, it was happening almost like every single night. And then a week later, he got sick.
That
So
is
I'm like,
crazy.
"Oh my god, like I think you're having night terrors." And then
What is like the science behind it almost? Is it like that they can't control their thoughts or like they can't separate like reality from
it's
like
that
dream?
they
Okay.
dream so well that
Yeah, so
they
deeply,
so
yeah.
deeply that they can't distinguish that it's like fake. So then they're stuck in
Okay.
this like way where it's
Oh,
like
that
it's
must be
real.
so
I think
scary.
of like Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what I think. You think
Right,
of it
yeah.
of a
Yeah,
nightmare. So
yeah.
on Friday night, when he was having this really bad nightmare, it brought me back to the moment sleeping on this bed in this room,
Yeah.
pregnant with Cyril, and I was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's night terrors. It's
Oh,
freaking
poor
night terrors."
baby.
And it keeps happening like throughout the night. Although I want to say yesterday night it
Mhm.
happened once and it wasn't too bad. So I think
Okay.
we're kind of like descaling. So I'm like, alrighty, I'm gonna have to like look into this, but
Oh my God. I just pray that it's not like a lifelong or like a long-term thing
it
and
can be.
hopefully it
It
really.
can be. I have read in like the mommy groups I'm in that some of their
Mhm.
kids take medications because
Yeah,
their
because they
sleep is
have
either so
to. Yeah.
bad or
Yeah.
whatever the case is. So he might need
Mm.
a sleep study. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, that is so sad
that
to
was
hear.
my
I'm
week.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine as a parent that must you like I had mentioned to you before, you guys must feel really defeated like that because there's nothing that you can really do.
Mhm. And we were doing everything. Like I was, when I thought it was growing pains, I was massaging his like leg, massaging his feet, but then he will like
Yeah.
kick off, indicating
Oh,
for me
okay.
to stop. So I'm like, all right, maybe it's not growing pains. And
Yeah.
then when he would like be fully awake, he's fine. But then now he's having trouble going back
Mm-hmm.
to like sleep.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
so I'm just like, damn, like he really had a nightmare and
That
now
is
he's
oh.
having a hard time sleeping. So I feel like his
Mm-hmm.
sleep is like off, our sleeps are off, but Cirilla
Yeah.
throughout the week she's been like sleeping through everything except for that one night. That one night he was
Okay.
very loud. He was
Yeah.
very loud and I was like, okay,
Wow.
this is a night terror. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Wow. Oh man, I'm sorry,
I'm
girl.
hoping for
That's
the best.
yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's been a crazy week for you and I.
Yeah, seriously, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need a do-over. Like, this
Yeah.
month has been freaking, oh gosh. And yeah,
That's not bad. At least, you know,
I
you're only by
know.
yourself for like 2 days.
I know. I'm just going like batshit crazy in this house because I can't. Grayson's still contagious. Like I
Yeah.
can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of cabin fever.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going crazy.
I don't blame you. That's how I felt. Like I'm sick now and I'm like kind of pissed because I'm
Oh
like, what the
yeah,
hell? Like today would have been a great time
yeah,
for me to have some self-care because it's been so long. But like now I'm sick and I
yeah.
woke up like
I'm sorry.
not wanting
Yeah,
to do much, just wanting to like sit back and relax. But whatever
yeah.
Abraham had, he gave it to me
Ugh.
because I sound just like him.
Yeah. Just like him.
I sound just like him. I'm like, damn boy, really?
Oh my gosh. But is there anything like that you wanted to bring up on the
Yeah,
podcast?
you
Any?
said you wanted to
Yes.
talk base about the
The
mom donor.
don't
So I keep forgetting to like look up this like
I haven't
TikTok.
seen it.
Oh, I haven't seen it either.
I have not seen it. I just keep hearing about it. So basically, there's this TikTok out there, this mom feeding her child or her
Her
children
baby, I don't
donuts, and
know.
people are going batshit crazy over it and like bashing her. And I'm over
Yeah,
here like, just let the fucking kid live. Like you never had a donut
for
before?
real.
Like you're telling me right now, what's the difference between a pancake and a donut? Like, I mean, come on, right?
What's yeah. Please tell me
Come
what's the
on.
difference because the
What's the
frosting,
difference?
syrup,
Yeah.
the dough
Yeah.
is
It's the same shit.
it's the same thing.
So let the child live and just stay off his mom's back. Like,
But like
damn.
let me see if I can find it because like regardless of what it is, why are we mom shaming?
I know.
Like it's one thing if you're providing education, like, hey mama, like let's say
Right.
the baby is 4 months old. Okay, I can get.
Okay.
But like
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
a way to say things. You don't shame someone about it. You just
Yeah.
say like, hey mama, I don't think a 4-month-old should be having donuts because there's like honey and X, Y, and Z. But if you're
And
like
she's
straight up like mom shaming her,
yeah.
like calm
Yeah, like her
down.
video apparently went viral and everyone is like bashing her.
Oh
Like,
what?
why?
Let me see. Mom with
Yeah, yeah,
donut.
find it so we can watch it right
Mom,
now and we'll give our 2 cents right
mom
here.
with donut.
Donut mom. I
Mom
don't
with
know.
donut. I don't know.
Let me see. I'll try to find it too.
Is she wearing like a purple shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, it says plate my 1-year-old's breakfast with me, and it's powdered. It's the
I mean,
powdered sugar donuts. I'm
listen. Listen, we don't know what the situation is. Like,
pissed. I want
just
to
let
see
her
the whole
be.
thing. Is this her? Why the hell?
Maybe she had a rough morning. That poor, like,
I don't give a fuck what kind of day she had. Why the fuck are we shaming moms? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you never had
yeah,
a donut for breakfast, like ever
yeah.
in your life,
Go get yourself a fucking
and be
donut.
fucking happy. Like shut up.
Yeah, or shove it up your ass or some shit.
That too. Make it come out liquid diarrhea or something. I'm so mean. Let me not. Cause no, cause if there's one thing I'm not about is mom shaming. All
Yeah, I
right,
know.
she cut up the donut, and now
Plate my
she's
1-year-old's breakfast. All right, I just got my. Okay, but no, I don't want to see the
and
actual.
she also gave her applesauce. Okay, who get?
Okay, so balance.
She's probably like gonna give her
Aw.
something. Well, I'm like looking. I think all the bean comments are out because,
Maybe the baby's sick and
or
she
maybe
just
she's
who
sick. Maybe
knows.
she has her period, and
Yeah,
she's having
yeah,
anal spasm like I do, and she's like, you know what?
right.
I got. She's. We're all trying to survive. Why are we just?
Well, look at the comment section is not it.
I'm like, look. I don't see anything bad from my end. Do you see stuff bad?
I see one that says, "Is this real? Is this for real? So healthy." This emoji face.
I don't have
Right there.
that. I have
Really?
love this and you. No one else grew up with a Pop Tart cart in school because shot the Pop Tart.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, one person said, honestly, this probably has the same sugar as cereal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Come
Cinnamon
on.
Toast Crunch, Fruity Pebbles. Come on. Ugh, come on, people. Come on. And I bet you all of these like shamers are probably millennials. Like you're telling me you didn't grow up on again
Right.
Pop-Tarts or
Yeah.
what is it, toaster strudels? Like you didn't grow up on that shit because I know I
I
did,
know I
and I'm
did
fine.
too, and I'm fine. So someone
Shit.
said these comments did not pass the vibe check. People are so judgmental. I don't see any bad comments from like my side.
But you know, these are all recent, so this was probably before, like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Someone said, I don't care what you feed your kid, but I'm craving powdered donuts now.
yo, powdered donuts are so freaking good. You can't tell me
Honestly, they
shit.
are. Yeah, you can't.
I love the cinnamon powder donuts. Oh
Girl,
my
those are my
god, I
favorite.
love
Yes.
those.
Yes.
I love those.
Wait, so I know a little hack that I did when I was pregnant because
Oh
I was
yeah.
craving those donuts. I think I took, what was it? The pill, I took like the Pillsbury, I don't know
Was
what
this
was it? The
the?
bit, was it the, I think it was the biscuits. And you kind of roll it out, you make them, turn them into donuts. This is really unhealthy. You know, this was pregnancy. I sprayed a little like butter or something, you put in the air fryer with like cinnamon, oh no, just with the butter, put in the air fryer, take it out, and then roll it in like cinnamon sugar.
That
And
sounds
that shit
good.
tastes
That sounded
was
really
fucking,
good.
it was real good,
That sounds
girl.
real good. But yeah, stop mom shaming. It's one thing if you're coming from a place of like education, but like coming
Yes.
from like judging, like come on, sit back, relax, and enjoy your
Seriously.
life. If listen, it takes
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
0 cents, zero money, zero effort to be kind. Zero effort
Exactly.
to mind your business and walk away. If you don't have
Yeah.
anything nice to say, walk away. Keep your mouth shut.
Exactly. I was
That's
just about to
it.
say that. Like, don't say anything if you
Yeah.
feel some type of way.
Yeah. It's like, come on now. Just shut up.
Yeah, I know. But any other craziness circling around the internet?
I mean, I
What?
don't think I should air this, but Catherine and Austin McBruner are getting a divorce.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we could air this. I know. That's
That's
crazy.
crazy. I'm like,
We
damn,
were
son.
such big Ace Family fans.
We
Remember, like in the
were.
beginning?
We were. You know what I thought about? I had saw a TikTok a couple of months ago that the one between I think January and February, the divorce rates go up. And
Really?
yeah, and most of the time,
Interesting.
I think they said something along the lines where it's like the end of the year, they usually give like some sort of like ultimatum, and then the new year comes and they're like, nothing has
Mm.
changed, we're
Okay,
done.
makes sense.
Yeah, and one of the things this lawyer said that the number one reason um, divorces are filed is because the woman feels like
Mm-hmm.
she was doing everything. She did everything
Mm-hmm.
as a
Mm-hmm.
wife, did everything as like a mother, and had no support or like
Yeah,
nothing. And I almost feel like maybe that's what like happened. She
I
was
think so
doing it
too.
all. She was still having her
She
career,
was.
still being like full-time mom.
I know.
And
I was always a fan of hers.
I was, and I guess she just realized, it's
Mm-hmm.
over and done with.
Yeah. Yeah, I think once like all the rumors and all the crazy shit started
Yeah.
happening, that's kind of like when I stopped watching them because I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Something's
yeah,
just off. It doesn't feel genuine. I'm gonna just
yeah,
hop off this train. It was fun
yeah,
while it lasted. I
yeah,
did
yeah, yeah.
enjoy everything that
Same.
they created. I actually look forward to. I was like,
Yeah, they were
Ace
like the
Family people.
biggest. They're like the biggest YouTube channel, family
Yeah,
channel.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but hopefully, hopefully the kids are okay.
I
Honestly,
know that's what I like think about. It's like this huge impact
yeah.
because I mean, no matter what type of family, famous or not famous,
Mhm.
I feel like the
Yeah.
kids are always affected, and that's where my heart goes
Mhm.
out to more. It's the kids,
Yeah. I
you
know.
know?
Mhm.
But it sounds like they're doing well with like co parenting because that's what she said.
Apparently.
So,
Apparently.
I mean,
I
that's
don't
good.
follow him
But
on
yeah.
Instagram, so I don't even know what his statement was or like what he has to
Honestly,
say,
he
but
he looks rough. He does. He looks like,
really?
yeah, he does because I feel like Catherine is like glowing so
Yeah, she's
well,
thriving.
but like he looks rough. Like he looks like, I don't know, like
Like
maybe he didn't see it coming or he's just distraught.
damn. Yeah.
Like he,
Oh
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Oh
I
wow.
like went to his page. I was like, look, well, I'm just curious.
Curious.
And then he was making his statement. I'm like, yo, boy looks sad. I mean, it is
Damn.
sad. I mean,
It
It
is.
is
Yeah, it
sad. It
is. It
is sad,
is. It
but
is.
I think she is taking it well.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her.
Seriously, it takes, it takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to like not only leave a relationship, but to
Mhm.
also file. It's not
It
like
is
it's
tough.
not easy. And I know when you go through divorces, it's hard. It's like this whole like thing, like don't I thought the courts have to like approve almost that you guys can get
Mhm.
a divorce or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know. Do you know about like my childhood and like my parents at all?
Not really.
So my parents, they were married and then they divorced around the eight. I must have been like 7 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember my mom sitting me down and them telling like, oh, your dad's gonna be moving out, we're getting a divorce, blah blah blah. So it was really confusing growing up because my parents always had a really good relationship,
Yeah.
but my dad was always around, so like it was very confusing that they were
Hmm.
divorced, but like I saw my dad practically every day.
Right, right.
But what's weirder is that they got back together when I moved back from California as an adult. Like that's fucking weird.
Now I have to ask, were your
Yeah.
parents like legally married in the US, or was it like
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. They were raised here
Oh,
along with
okay.
my aunt. They were all raised in Brooklyn. So
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
shit,
they got
Brooklyn.
married here. Yeah, they got married here. But yeah, it's just I think that has been like the weirdest thing. But I love them together now. Like
Yeah.
I like seeing them
Yeah, they're
together.
like the yin and yang.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's just weird. Like y'all are really together. Like it's just weird because I grew up with divorced parents.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I always thought they were together when Abraham and I were dating though.
no.
Really? Damn, they really
Yeah.
I thought they were.
No, they've always been like best friends. So like my dad
Okay.
was always around and he's just
It was
his
just
kids are everything. So
right,
he's
right.
always been he's always been to every event,
Well, that's good.
everything.
That's
Yeah.
good. Wow. Well, they
Mhm.
did an amazing job, honestly,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I
I
know.
thought they were
They
together.
fooled you.
For
They
real.
fooled
I
you.
was like, oh, that's the aunt, that's the uncle. They're together.
No.
Yeah, I got
No.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, they got back together when I moved back from California, which was in 2016, I think. I want to say around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Dang. I feel like I've been lied to my whole life.
Yeah, it was funny when I came back. My mom was like, "Oh, we have some exciting news to share. Your father and I are back together." Yeah, it was so. I was like, "What? Like, is this a joke? Like, I move away to another state, and that's what it took for you guys to get back together? Like, 20 years later? Like, what the fuck?"
That's hilarious. It's like
But
your
yeah,
absence brought them together.
right. Honestly, dead ass. That's what I tell them that. That was so freaking hard for them. They did not want me to move.
I don't think anybody wanted you to move, and then no one wanted
No, I know.
your aunt to move. That was
Oh
sad.
my god, yeah, I
I
know.
remember, I remember, on our driveway back to college, because that's where we
Yeah.
lived at. Did we live in? No, she was here. Back to
Mhm.
Hamilton. I used to live in Hamilton, y'all.
Hamilton
The blueberry capital.
of
Uh,
America, of the
of
world,
the
right?
world,
The
something
world.
like that. Who
That's
knows?
crazy.
It is. I remember it was just silent. He was
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
silent, and we got to our apartment, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Your silence is concerning me. If you need to let out some tears,
Let it
let it
out.
out." And he was sobbing. I was like,
Oh.
babe, and he's like, like hyperventilating. I'm like, calm down. I'm like, we can always visit
Oh.
her. He's like, it's my mom and my sister. That's my little
Oh my
sister. Cause
god.
like Jasmine is practically his daughter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I just remember, I'm like, babe, it's okay. You can text her every day. You can call them every day. Like, it's fine. It's okay.
I feel like I could relate because that the hardest part of moving to California wasn't like not seeing my parents or not seeing my friends. It was Bella, because she was so little and we were so attached to the hip. She was, oh my God, she was like my little, best friend at that age, and that was hard for her.
Yeah.
And I would cry. She would cry. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was really hard. So I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. But now they're back in America, so we're good.
America. So we good.
Oh,
yeah. All right, I guess we'll end it here then, right? All right, you guys, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for giving us a listen. And don't forget to follow us. We are on most of the podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Cast, what else?
Pocket Cast.
Everything. Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. So be sure to give us a listen, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.